Hi. Hey. Hello. Welcome to a Market Down production. My name is Daniel. I am joined by Jimothy, and I am joined by Nick Olas. We are here to talk about Night of Double or Nothing this weekend, coming at you live. So I can't keep track anymore. There's so much wrestling going on. There may or may not be a pay-per-view right now as we're filming this happening. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about AEW Double or Nothing, one of the shortest cards in AEW pay-per-view history as of right now, unless Tony Khan adds 5 more matches in the next 20 minutes.
Which is possible because
we're going to start with the match
Rampage.
that was just added just now in real time as recording. It is possible. Twitter exists, so there's always those bonus couple matches they announce on Twitter. But we're going to start with the match that just got announced or will be announced by the time this comes out, which is the House of Black versus the Acclaimed. I'm not going to say the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass because that's just incorrect. Daddy Ass is part of the Acclaimed, so that's redundant to say the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass. It's implied if it's a six-person tag. So this match on paper is already amazing. I'm already a fan about it. Actually, you know what? I'm going to give my review of it right now. This match was fucking great. This match deserved more hype before the pay-per-view. Max Caster's rap was so good. Oh my God. He borderline ruined House of Black with that rap. It was so fucking good. Billy Gunn makes no sense how he's such a good wrestler in the year 2023. He's a better wrestler in 2023 than he was in 1997. It doesn't make any sense, but here we are. Bowen's fucking fantastic. I would say he's underrated, but everyone knows that everyone gives him his flowers about his wrestling, so he's not underrated. And yeah, what a beautiful ending. What a crazy counter. What a great counter to the mic drop. Fantastic stuff. But that being said, Rev, Nick, if you will, whatever name you want to go by today, period, comma, whatever. Who do you have in this match? What do you think the stipulation is going to be, the dealer's choice stipulation that the Acclaimed will add as well?
Ooh, that's a tough question because that was actually something I'm very much looking forward to is what their stipulation, what their dealer's choice rule is going to be. Because you know them, they're going to get really fucking creative. So it's going to be something good, but I genuinely have no idea what it is. As for who's winning, despite the fact I am wearing an Oh Scissor Me Daddy shirt, I am going to pick the House of Black here. I think it's just too early in their reign for them to lose. That's really the thing. The other thing, too, is they also just started these house rules matches, and I think they've caught on pretty well, and a lot of people like them. So killing the title reign here and more than likely killing the house rules matches would just be dumb. So I am going to pick the House of Black, but I think this is going to be a really good match. Maybe a show stealer. I know it's the first match we're talking about here, but I do think that this could be a bit of a show stealer. At minimum, I'm going to say it'd probably be 3.75, maybe even a 4-star match. I think these guys are really going to bring it.
That is so funny because I was genuinely going to ask you if you thought this would be a 4-star match. So, that answer is
it's got a good shot. It's got a really good shot.
Everyone in this match has the potential of putting on a show-stealing match. I think the Acclaimed literally did it 3 pay-per-views ago. I think Buddy Matthews is that person that can do that if given the chance. We know Malachi and Brody are those people. So this and Billy Gunn is, like I said, an anomaly. So
I think they have Bowens versus Buddy is going to be a good matchup to look out for here. I think they're going to have a really good sequence.
Oh, you know what? I think we're going to get another. I think we're going to get Caster hitting an attitude adjustment on Brody like he did to Keith Lee. I think we're going to get a spot like that. It's going to be real fun. James, you're a rapper, so what are you expecting from Max? What are you expecting from this match? And what do you think the stipulation is going to be? How about maybe it's the titles can only change hands via rap battle, or something along those lines?
I don't know. Max Caster is a fair competitor. I don't think he would do that to the House of Black. for what the rule is, I don't know why, but in my head I keep hearing elimination match. Like I think that would be a fun stipulation to add to it. I don't think they'll go that way, but I would just love to see it. Amount of stars, I'm gonna give it 3.75 stars. That is my prediction. 3.75. And I'm gonna give it to the House of Black because they are too hot to fail. I don't think that's how that goes. But they are too awesome and they shouldn't lose the titles yet. And I love the Acclaimed, but they can afford to have Daddy Ass take a loss for them,
I think that makes sense. I don't think the House of Black are too hot to fail right now or too hot to handle. I think they're very lukewarm because they haven't been on TV that much. But I think they'll be right back to being white hot after like 4 or 5 of these House Rules matches because they're fun. I don't remember what you guys said because you guys put me to sleep on Wednesday, but I liked the lighting.
Yeah.
Really cool, actually, the way they had the crowd like half lit, like in lines instead of, I thought that was really cool. So like I'm a fan of it, but I'll agree. I think House of Black are gonna retain. I think the match is gonna be fantastic. It probably will comfortably be in the best 3 matches of the night. So it's good. It's a match that didn't need to be on the pay-per-view, which, that's like half an AEW pay-per-view card, but like it's one that I'm gonna enjoy because it has a bunch of people I like and they're gonna do stuff I like. So that'll be cool. And as for the rule of the match, I don't know. They're gonna have to do 5 count pins. I don't know. I feel like that'll be a rule one of the matches. Not this one probably, but that's all I got right now.
It'd be really funny if they did like you can't do your finisher unless you do a certain number of taunts and just make it really meta with the game coming out.
Ooh, yeah, especially for the Acclaim because they could just keep scissoring and they're like, all right, now we can
scissoring and just suck it and now we can hit the mic drop.
Yeah, and then I don't know what. I mean, Malachi could sit, cross-legged, but I don't know what the other 2 are going to do in that match. What are their taunts? I don't even know.
I think Buddies is reminding everybody that he's dating Rhea.
Yeah. I mean,
I thought it was him trying to be Kenny Omega. Okay. So that's interesting.
It's him just silently fuming over Dominic Mysterio in a corner somewhere.
Brian has to come down and shove his face into Buddy's face like in the meme.
Oh, man. All right. So I think we're on the same page there. We're all going House of Black, so we can comfortably move on. And I'm going to just go in reverse order on the Wikipedia page instead of in order that makes sense. But we're going to move on to an unsanctioned match, a match that is not, the violence is not approved by AEW management. They will not stand for this level of violence on the show. They can't be held responsible for this, for lack of a better word, anarchy in this match between Adam Cole and Chris Jericho. This feud has been good. I'm not gonna lie. I really like Jericho's blatant disregard of reality and his heel motives of keeps constantly telling Adam Cole that he's a coward for not protecting Britt Baker from getting beat down with the kendo stick. And, he said it enough where I borderline believe him and take his side on it. Like,
you just got gaslighted.
He believes it,
like a true Republican. He just needs to be loud and repetitive enough.
Yeah, and it's
facts are what
working.
You make them.
Yeah. Like, dude, who's talking about the fact that Roderick Strong beat Jericho? That wasn't even mentioned, bro. Like, as far as I'm concerned, Jericho's the good guy and he's dominating this feud. It's insane.
Never happened.
But it has been a fun. I like the contract signing. We had 2 good contract signings in 1 week in wrestling. That's like fucking unheard of. But this match is probably gonna not be that good. I'm gonna be honest. Adam Cole hasn't wrestled a good match since Orange Cassidy. I'm just gonna say, because he had the bad Hangman matches and then he got injured in the Fatal 4-Way. So
the Hangman matches bad. I don't remember.
They were disappointing. They were. I think we all came out of them like, oh, I expected like
more.
I thought I would love this match, and it was just like I guess like it was fine, Yeah. So he's coming off a not hot run, and the Garcia match was what it was too. It was safe, and Jericho's safe, so it makes sense.
Was the Garcia match his only match since coming back?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. I don't think he's had another match since then.
Yeah, no, that sounds right. I'm just trying to think it out, and wow, he's been back a while too.
Yep. Well, he's in the Jericho feud, so it's a lot of that.
Yeah.
But that being said, James, who do you have in this match?
I'm really scared because I want this feud to be over. Like, I don't want, it hasn't been bad. It hasn't dragged out yet, but I don't want it to get to that point. And please just let Adam Cole win and we're done.
Man, doesn't this sound familiar? Like, oh yeah, the start of this Jericho feud's pretty good. I hope it ends soon though.
Let me check my notes. Every Jericho feud ever. Okay, yeah, no, that sounds right. That checks out.
Yeah. So we'll see. Quick question: what happened to your beard? Last time I saw you, you had a beard.
I legit one night just decided I didn't want it because I was sweating, so I shaved, and I regret it immensely.
Okay, Pedro. No, Napoleon Dynamite, because this literally happens to Napoleon Dynamite. No, but he shaves his head. He's like, I was hot, so I shaved my head. It's literally what you just said. Except you shaved your beard.
And what?
Does Napoleon what? For me?
Yeah, I guess.
All right, I'll take it.
I don't understand this reference. What?
Napoleon Dynamite? Never heard of it?
Who? No, what is that?
You should get on it. It's a movie. You should get on it.
I don't know, man. It's like Good Burger. Like, I don't.
Should we make another one of those?
What the hell else is Kel doing?
Fair. He's been writing a lot.
I mean, I don't want to watch it, but like, good for him, and I guess good for Keenan. I'm not watching Keenan's show, but like,
longest tenured SNL member of all time. How the hell that happened? I feel like that kind of snuck.
It doesn't feel impressive as much as it feels like why won't you leave kind of thing.
But also think about his career too, because he's always been on sketch shows. He did all that. He did the Amanda show outside of Keenan and Kel, pretty much. That's been his entire.
Did he do the Amanda show?
I think he was on.
I don't think he did.
Maybe
No, I think you're thinking of Drake and Josh.
No, they were on the Amanda show. I thought he might have been. No, but I know. All right, but even if he wasn't, he probably guest starred or soming. But he was definitely on all that. So, which was just kids SNL.
Was on all that.
Yeah, she was a kid.
Yep. Anyway, speaking of Drake Bell, what's that guy been up to, right? Anyway,
no, thank you.
No, okay, not taking that. I never thought that it'd be so simple. But Rev, who do you have in this match?
God, I want it to be Adam Cole. I really hope it's Adam Cole. Quite frankly, I don't think you get Sabu involved. Which, oh yeah, by the way, Sabu's involved. Just without Adam Cole winning, I think that would be dumb. So I'm going to take Adam Cole and pray that this feud ends right after this. Because
I saw a lot of funny jokes about like, man, they'd really rather bring in Sabu than bring back Bobby Fish.
Yep, a lot of those memes. And folks, where's the lie?
He would make so much on t-shirt sales if he just leaned into the meme.
He really would. But he takes himself far too seriously.
Which is crazy considering his facial hair. Like, that looks like someone who would understand the butt of the joke. Like,
did I ever tell you guys that I, on one of like the many WrestleMania like excursions that I've been on, I saw him at the airport, and I have a pretty strict rule of not bothering people at the airport. But like, if we're like next to each other, I'll at least say something like, "Hey, I'm a big fan" or whatever. he might be the only wrestler I've ever deliberately not said anything to. Like, I was just like, oh, there's Bobby Fish. So yeah, I'm gonna go get a bagel. You know, like that was just how that went.
How was the bagel?
Better than if I had spoken to Bobby Fish.
I believe that. You heard it here first, folks. Bobby Fish makes bagels worse. And that's the scoop of cream cheese.
I do think I wouldn't be shocked if we saw him and O'Reilly come out to even the odds.
I would be shocked if we saw Bobby Fish. I wouldn't be shocked if we saw O'Reilly.
Yeah,
I think Bobby Fish has burned the bridge. I think he's worse off than Punk.
I think he has too, and he deserves it because of how big an idiot he was. But I think Toni would be willing to bring him back now that the whole group is there. Just because of the value of what that group can be, which granted, Fish is the smallest part of that group that matters, but as a whole, the four of them together is an image that I'm sure he would love to have had in AEW at some point. He barely got to scratch the surface of having the three of them together.
Yeah, he's got the best 75% of that group in the company, so
I don't disagree with you. And I think at this point in time, O'Reilly and Strong are a better team than O'Reilly and Fish would be. And I like Red Dragon. I do. But I really love their NXT run together, the two of them.
Red Dragon or Strong and O'Reilly?
Strong and O'Reilly.
Oh, yeah, when Fish was hurt. Yeah, they had a fun tag title run. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Adam Cole as well. So moving on to what should definitely be the pre-show match of this show. And if it's on the main card, I'm going to go do something else. It is Ethan Page and the Guns versus the Hardys and Hook, because Isaiah Cassidy is injured, because that team is always injured, because they're in that group of teams that someone's always hurt. And it's unfortunate because of all those teams of people that are always hurt, they're probably the best one. So that's a bummer, but we're not going to get the moan. So with that being off the card, it should definitely be on the pre-show. Sorry, Hook, but
we might get the moan.
Cool. The faces are going to win. Like, do we really need to talk about this? Like, do you guys think the heels are going to win? You think the Firm essentially is going to win?
I think there's a slight chance because they lost the Firm deletion, but does this really need to continue after this? I don't think it does.
Why is it still happening? Weren't they deleted? Why are they tagging together?
But that's why, James, that's why I think they might win, because if the Hardys win and Hook wins, then Matt Hardy owns Ethan Page's contract. And that would continue this unless they go do something else, which I don't think they would. Although maybe the Firm's dissipating. Who knows? You know, no one's really sure what Stokely's doing. Like, the last thing he posted on Twitter, he had, taken over Tony Khan's office. So if they are dissolving the Firm, then maybe the faces do win. But I think that if they want to end it clean with a clean break, then Ethan Page and the Guns will win. If they want to keep Ethan with Matt Hardy because they think it's funny, then the Hardys will win. Despite all that, I'm going to pick the Hardys and Hook just because I'm pretty sure Hook is still undefeated, and undeleted. But I think he's undefeated, and I don't think
he hasn't been deleted, yeah.
So I got to say, can you imagine this is how they give Hook his first loss? That would suck.
If Matt Hardy eats a pin.
And again, it's a pre-show match, so the faces are going to win because,
fair.
It's a pre-show match. But James, you agree, right? You don't need to go into detail about it. We can move on to something more important, or at least just different than this, right?
I'm just
knowing what's next more important,
or at least just different.
Yeah.
I'm just Jeff Hardy's on a pay-per-view in any capacity. That's okay. I'm out. We're moving on.
Yep. This would be a bad time to make a drinking game for the pay-per-view. So we're going to move on to Jade Cargill versus Taya Valkyrie for the TBS Championship. This match, it's technically more important than the previous match. It's at least, well, no, they both had stories, but It's at least a title match. Taya is at least somewhat being presented as a threat to Jade. Do we buy into that? Not really, but they're putting the effort in to some degree. So that's something. I think we can agree this match is going to end with the Glam Slam, or a Jaded, or Road to Valhalla, if you want to call it. It's a fucking Glam Slam, unless you want to call it, who was it, Jazz that did that originally? So I don't know what she called it. So if you want to call it that, that's fine. But remember that Moxley would do that move sometimes? That was weird when he started doing that in like 2019. I was like, what are you doing, bro?
It was so brief. It was so brief that he did it.
Yeah. Well, then he quit. He was like, I can't wrestle anymore. Like, I'm quitting. And then he showed up in AEW. But I think, again, we can all say we all think Jade's winning, right? Does anyone think anything otherwise?
No.
I really want Taya to win, but
weird, but all right.
I love Taya Valkyrie.
I like her too. I think she's great. I don't think she's the person to beat Jade.
I agree, but I also don't care anymore. Like I was past that like 3 months ago about who the person should be. I just want it done at this point.
Yeah, we kind of talked about this on Wednesday. Like we want to care because we like these people. We just don't, which is unfortunate. But yeah, I think Jay's going to win just because I think Taya should be the person before the person. You know, like I think whoever Jade faces next, her next like real big challenger should probably take the belt off of Jade. The problem is, who the fuck is that person? Unless they bring somebody big in, they don't really have anybody to take the title off of Jade unless they actually do want to do the Statlander.
Returning Chris Statlander.
Yeah.
I think they 100% do. They're just waiting on her to be cleared. But, you know, because otherwise there's no point. I don't think you can bring someone in at this point to be that person.
There is nobody. You know?
Yeah. But, yeah, so this match, all right, we'll do a quick bonus prediction. Does this go past 5 minutes in ring, bell to bell?
I think it gets 8.
Yeah, I just shy of 10 minutes, I think.
I was going to say 7. So, yeah, we're all around the same page. Yeah, I think they go a little bit past it. But not like that. I don't think they should go too far past it because I think this match would be best if it's just, you know, big move after big move with a little bit of psychology of like maybe a slight hesitation about hitting the Road to Valhalla or whatever it's called.
Is that still a thing? She can't hit the move?
No,
but I'm thinking maybe it'll just be like a mental thing, like she'll be almost hesitate, like, oh wait, no, I can't hit it. Like there'll be some sort of mental nod to that previous stipulation. But
over under a half Glam Slam. Over under a half.
Actually, I guess over.
Well, yeah, no, it's gonna be over a half. Sorry, over under 1.5. That's what I meant.
I'm gonna take the over. I think Jade kicks out of Taya's.
I think so too.
Yeah, see, that's what I was wondering. It's like, do you protect Taya's or not? So that's why I over under 1.5. I think that's a good number.
Yeah, Taya could lose this match and then join the Outcast. You know, but we're gonna move on to a wild match that's just going to be, I think, the most fun no matter what happens. This is going to be the most fun. And of course, we're talking about Anarchy in the Arena, which has become a yearly tradition, a big younger brother of Stadium Stampede. We're getting one of these two matches every year, Double or Nothing now. It's become a tradition. And this one, and they're always going to involve Jericho to some degree, which is weird because it definitely was not about him at first, but now he's become the pivotal member of this weird match and spinoff of the match. But we got the Blackpool Combat Club versus not Jericho or the Jericho Society, but the Elite. But which means that. No, Jericho didn't win all of them, so that's not fair. I can't even make that joke at his expense. But anyway, Blackpool Combat Club consists of Bryan Danielson, who has not wrestled since returning since the MJF match, and he hasn't gotten physical really at all during the brawls the past couple weeks. He's literally would slide out of the ring and not lay a hand on anyone or get a hand lay it on him. Jonathan Moxley, who's just, man, he's going to lose like 10 pounds from bleeding during this match. Claudio, who's going to do the most impressive shit and fly under the radar about it, because that's classic Claudio right there. And that little shit, Wheeler Yuta, who, man, he's lucky to be here. Like, I don't even want to shit on him, honestly, but like, he is very, very lucky to be in the position he is in. Like, I think anyone would kill to have his role right now.
And even if it's not like a comment on his ability, because I think we're all generally on the same boat that we recognize he's a good in-ring talent. For someone at his stage of his career to be in such a high-profile match with all of that level of talent that is surrounding him is incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure they're going to make him look good. But just getting the rub of getting to be in the same group as Moxley, Bryan, and Claudio, who, you know, I actually really like AEW Claudio. I feel like he's very well protected. They're not making a huge deal of it, but he is a very well protected person. Granted, the only time I've seen him wrestle live in AEW, he lost to Chris Jericho, but you know.
Well, he is also
that's going to happen.
He's also Ring of Honor champ, so that does help his protection. They don't want to make him look like a stooge.
Yeah, well, despite that, you know, he lost when I saw him try to defend that title against Chris Jericho.
Fair.
You know,
at least
in
he won it
person.
back.
Yeah, but I wasn't there for that. I was there for the loss. I was there for. Why did Orange Cassidy have to lose to Pac that night too? It was annoying. Like, we got the Acclaimed winning, and that was that's why I went. But like, still.
We also got Bryan losing to Mox that night.
Yeah, that was a bad night overall, honestly.
Glad I skipped this year's.
No, I mean, like I said, I just went for the Acclaimed. Everything else that was really working against me, enjoying myself there. Anyway, they're taking on the Elite, which consists of Kenneth Omega, Matthew Jackson, Nicholas Jackson, and Hangman Adam Page. Adam isn't short for anything, weirdly enough. Adamant, maybe? I don't know. James, look, we're on Zoom and it's like speaker view, but like I'm watching you put your hand over your mouth like something crazy's happening. So I'm just gonna ask you real quick, what's going on? Why are you so distracted? What is so crazy over there that you're at a loss for words right now?
So it's the Impact main event between reigning champion Steve Maclin and challenger PCO. It's a hardcore match for the title. And Steve Maclin just used a staple gun to close PCO's mouth shut.
Yo!
That sounds terrible. Don't like the sound of that. Okay.
PCO, oh my God. PCO just used a needle nose pliers to rip them out of his mouth.
Bro.
All right. Interesting preview for this match.
I don't think we're going to see anything that violent in this match, but
Moxley's going to be there. There's going to be a bunch of screwdriver spots. Let's not rule it out just quite yet. But interesting, very interesting. That being said, Nick, Rev, Lord, you know, we always call you Rev, but you're also a Lord, and we never talk about that as much. But
this is true.
Who do you have in this match? But more importantly, out of the 8 participants, how many of them are going to bleed? Because I feel 7. I'm going to put right there. I think 7 out of 8.
Oh, so I guess I should put the over/under at 7.5 then. I have the Blackpool Combat Club. I'll start there, and I'm sure I'm just going to completely steal what James is going to say because we're on the same page here. But I think they need to continue this feud, and it's probably going to end up in a blood and guts match, kind of a la what they did with Jericho, and honestly, a lot of this same crew with Moxley and Claudio, and so on. But that makes sense. That lines up. Each team needing a 5th member, and if say they end up playing out that shit with Takeshita, maybe he joins. Blackpool Combat Club. We'll see what, role Don Callis plays in all of this. But I think Blackpool Combat Club ending up winning. And if they do get Takeshita, that lines up Kota Ibushi coming in onto the Elite side. We have the reunification of the Golden Elite, which would be great. And then that sets up for Blood and Guts. So I will take Blackpool Combat Club. I'm going to go, let's see, there's 8 guys. Yeah, 7 seems like a good number. I feel like one person's not going to. Actually, no, I'm going to go 6. If 7.5 is the over, I'm gonna go 6. I think that's the number. I don't know. I just feel like one guy from each team isn't going to bleed.
Okay, interesting. I guess that one person for BCC is Brian, but
it'd be Brian or Claudio. And then
maybe you know what? Maybe Claudio is incapable of bleeding. I never considered that.
His skin's impenetrable, like Luke.
Yeah. I could buy into that. I want to start that rumor. Let's spread some slander about people, and we're gonna start with Claudio. That man cannot bleed. He can only spit up blood. His skin will not cut or break and bleed.
The only thing that can get fucked up is his
man
teeth.
Is impenetrable. Yeah, that's it. It's the mouth. That's his only weakness.
The teeth didn't break; they just were pushed in. They remained intact, which is kind of impressive.
Yep. Who do you have in this match, James? This match being the Anarchy in the Arena, not the match that you're watching.
I too have the BCC. There's an interesting wrinkle that happened last weekend at New Japan's Resurgence event, where Moxley teamed up with his first kid, Shota Umino.
And Shooter.
It was Shooter. And it was a 6-man tag where he teamed up with Shooter and Wheeler. And then afterwards, Shooter, who by all accounts is a white meat babyface, put in on his Instagram BCC as a picture of him, Yuta, and Moxley. So maybe he's their 5th man. I have a weird feeling that Takeshita isn't going to be BCC. I have a weird feeling he's going to team up with Will Ospreay. So maybe Shooter shows up. Regardless of anything, BCC wins, setting up for Blood and Guts with Kota Ibushi being the Elite's 5th man.
Okay, interesting. And James, correct me if I'm wrong, but your phone number is 347-621-4815, right? So if anyone wants to call in and ask you questions, they can reach you at that number, right?
Yes.
Okay, interesting. All right. And you live at 1248 Periwinkle Road, right? If they wanted to send you some mail?
It's right next to Drury Lane.
Okay, cool. And if you don't want us giving out that information, our producers can bleep that out. But
I can't.
Well, one of you guys can. I'm sure of it. I believe in you guys. But so if anyone wants to, contact you and just give you shit about who you like, who you don't like, or any of the things you say, that's how they can do it. But I'm gonna go with the Blackpool Combat Club because I like them and I want them to win. That's my only reasoning. And that's that. This match is gonna be insane and it's gonna be fantastic and probably uncomfortable at times, but mostly fantastic. So moving on to a match that who the fuck knows what's going on with it. Jamie Hayter versus Antonia Storm for the AEW Women's Championship. This is a rematch from Full Gear and also from 8 different episodes of Dynamite. But these two have great chemistry. But we don't really know what's going on with Jamie, who's more hurt than it seems and really might not even be able to have the match. So I don't know what to make of this. That being said, James, who do you have in this match? If I can pull your attention away from the TNA Impact pay-per-view.
I don't even know that the match is definitely going to happen. I have like a weird feeling that like there's going to be some shenanigans unless they're really concerned that Jamie isn't going to get healthy fast enough to hold on to the title. I think they want to get, I don't know. If the match happens, Toni Storm wins. But I am kind of 50-50 on if the match is even going to happen in the first place. More than anything, I need Jamie to hold on, because I'll be goddamned if I deal with another interim champion in AEW right now. I just can't.
I don't think they do it after the last one. You know, obviously we all watch All Access. You know, even every single person who watches Dynamite watches All Access.
Of course.
So we know that they're not fans of the interim title. So I don't think they're gonna do that again. I can't imagine a world where Toni wins, as much as I like Toni and would love for her to be champion again. I just don't see them. Yeah, unless they really have to take it off Jamie because of this injury, I can't see them taking it off her before Wembley. So I guess we'll see, because I think if they knew the severity of this, they would have had Saraya be the number one contender, and just because then you could have Saraya cheat, win real quick, and then do the rematch at All-In. You still get that match just with Saraya as champion going into it. So like this definitely feels like this was not the plan. They definitely were expecting her to be fine for the pay-per-view if they booked this match particularly. So I guess that means I'm going for Hayter or the match not happening. I just don't see her not walking out champion unless she's being like stripped of the title. Rev, where are you at? You're the tiebreaker here.
Oof, tough call. Because I do believe on Rampage she got jumped backstage by the Outcasts. So it seems like they're trying to set something up where she is seriously injured, because obviously she hurt her shoulder kayfabe when she got drop kicked into the steps. She's been in a sling for the most part over the last couple of weeks on Dynamite, and now they're writing this into the story that she's hurt. There's a lot of ways they can go here. If she genuinely cannot go on Saturday, then maybe they just strip the title over her that night, or she relinquishes it and then somebody else fights Toni, and who knows, we could get a complete wild card here. I mean, Lord knows I wouldn't mind seeing Karashida win again, but with what we know, though, I think if Jamie does participate, I think she probably should win and then relinquish the title on Wednesday. I think that would be a good play, just to keep her, strong. She doesn't lose the title, too early in her reign, and then she has to give it up due to injury. And then, assuming she's healthy by then you have her win it back at All in Wembley, because I think the crowd would go fucking nuts for that. So if that is the case, I think that should be their plan.
I agree with the end there.
Yeah, as that's the case, I think that should be their plan. But we'll see what happens. There's just a lot up in the air right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the idea of her winning just to relinquish the title, because then it's like just have Toni win then, because her being protected is the fact that she's hurt. But yeah, I mean, she, no matter what, she could come back and win it All In for that pop, or not. To be honest, I don't care either way. I like Jamie, but if that is the end of her title reign, that's the end. I don't think it would mean it was a bad one. I think she got incredibly over and then got a title based on that and stayed incredibly over. So I just call it a success, even if it ends poorly or unfortunately. But yeah, to move on to a match, the most important match on the show, I would say. Maybe there's one or two more matches you can argue for, but it is the 21-man battle royal for the AEW Inter Cassidy versus Ricky Starks, The Butcher, The Blade, Bandito, Commander, Lee Moriarty, Big Bill, Aria Daivari, Tony Nese, Chuck Taylor, Trent Beretta, Kip Sabian, Ray Phoenix, Pento Zaramieto, Swerve Strickland, Brian Cage, Jay White, Juice Robinson, Keith Lee, and Dustin Rhodes. This is the best title in all of wrestling. This is what the new World Heavyweight Championship in WWE wants to be. This is what all champions should aspire to be. Cassidy has just been telling a fantastic story of natural wear and tear from constantly defending his title. It is fantastic. I am sucked into it. I didn't love the Fletcher match on Wednesday. It was great in terms of like the wrestling itself. It's just he's arguably one of the least believable contenders that Cassidy's had in this, and you know, he's wrestled people that are associated with the firm, you know. But
I think Fletcher kind of got hurt a little bit by real life circumstances because he was going to walk into that match holding 2 championships. So it would have felt more like, look at this championship caliber competitor taking on Cassidy. But having been stripped of the 2 titles, it looked a lot less important and more, who is this guy that we've never seen wrestle a singles match here in AEW?
I understand that. But also, I'm glad because I'm sick of champions from other companies coming into AEW just to lose.
That's fair.
I think that's a bad look. So I think it's almost better that that's not the case. But like I said, the match was so good. It was still a really good match. Just it was one where it's like I saw 1 or 2 people being like, "Why wasn't that the match of the pay-per-view?" And I'm like, "Because that shouldn't be on a pay-per-view, or not an AEW pay-per-view. That could be on plenty of pay-per-views." Sorry, but this match is going to be really, really good. I think this is going to be the best battle royal they've ever done. And like I'm saying, that's a bold statement. I'm saying very casually because it's featuring Orange Cassidy, who's on the run of a lifetime. I think we could just put it in now that he's Wrestler of the Year. I feel like no one's gonna top him. You know, I don't know how they could at this point. Like Brian would have to wrestle like 8 matches, you know, which doesn't sound like a lot, but considering how he's wrestled so few since the beginning of the year, you know, I don't see it happening. No one's going to top him. So this is going to be full of so much drama. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to go first. I think Cassidy is retaining because all these people are jabronis, except for like
Jay White.
No, anyone in this match is kind of a jabroni. Yeah, that's upsetting. That's a little upsetting, but like
I'm gonna hard disagree with the word jabroni, but I get what you're saying.
None
of them make sense.
All right, all the people in this match.
Yeah. Yes.
All the people in this match are pathetic losers that are never gonna amount to anything. Is that better? Like I feel like jabroni was nicer. So like I feel
nice.
like
it was nicer, but not nice.
I think there's like 3 title holders in this match, but okay.
That should be depressing. That should be sad, right? That's an indictment of them and their titles. Like
they are all Ring of Honor titles.
Why are the ROH Tag Team Champions in this match? Yeah,
leave me out of it, okay?
What? It'd be cool. No, it'd be great if you were in the match. You know, that would be fucking exciting. But like, you got Daivari in there, and like, I'm sad Keith Lee's in there. You know, like I don't, but at least he's gonna be on the show, I guess, and he's gonna be great in the Battle Royal. I'm excited Keith Lee's in it because he's gonna have a cool spot where he pops up behind someone from out of nowhere, and it's gonna be fantastic.
What would you say prior to this? Because you're claiming this is going to be the best one. What would you say is the best one? Because I think I know what mine
I'm going to say it's the women's one where Ruby debuted because it was because of that, the debut alone, like literally solely for that.
For me, it's when the final 2 were Jungle Boy and Christian.
Oh, that's that's fair too. That was really good.
Was a good one.
That was...
The one where Hangman came back was good.
But that was a ladder match, wasn't it?
Oh, well, oh yeah, that's right. It wasn't a battle royal. Sorry, I was confusing this with the casino.
I know it's understandable mistake there.
And to your credit too, Nick. Very early on in AEW, he returned in a battle royal to make himself the other competitor in the main event against Chris Jericho to crown the first ever AEW champion. So he did technically do both. It just one was better than the other.
True.
Which one?
The second
but anyway, look, we got a lot of nobodies in here, but there's going to be so much. I'm going to be on the edge of my seat because as much as I believe Cassidy's going to win, I'm going to buy into his near eliminations, and I'm going to be like, fuck. I don't want it to end like this. And that's the beauty of it, is that I don't think it's going to end like this, but it's set up in a way where I can't help but be sucked into believing that it could end. Because it's, it's wrestling, so they can make a bad decision and, do something like that, because that would be a way to protect him because he didn't get pinned. But that, like, I think like Rev said, we just don't see it like ending that way. Especially here where like who could possibly like Jay White or Ricky Starks
the problem
are the
with
only
that,
believable winners.
Well, the problem with Starks and Switchblade and Juice Robinson is I think they're going to end up taking each other out because they're in a feud right now. So like that, I think that screws them. Honestly, I think Cassidy's going to retain and then maybe lose on Wednesday. But I think for me personally, the second strongest candidate, and this may be a bit of a dark horse, I think might be Swerve.
Yeah. Swerve is one of my picks, maybe. But
he also might be a guy, depending on what happens, maybe he takes this title off Cassidy at the end of it all. Even if it's on Wednesday, like he's a really good candidate for that heat.
He's not my ideal candidate, but he is a believable, plausible one that I wouldn't be happy about for like the first 6 weeks, but I'd warm up to it because he's good. No, I've already said if Brian beats him for it, it'll be fucking fantastic. If Luchasaurus beats him, it'll be fantastic. If Christian beats him, it'll be fantastic. There's people. If Keith Lee wins this match, I'd be fucking happy. Like,
I'd be cool with Keith Lee too.
But I think Swerve is a good shout for a reasonable dark horse. Not quite a dark horse, but like, someone who's not in the spotlight. Yeah, James, go ahead.
Can I tell you guys my legitimate fear for this match?
That Cassidy accidentally gets eliminated.
That the best friends screw Orange out.
Oh,
I didn't even think about that.
Because
they're all best amigos now.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, Comenda's in there, or Bandito rather. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, they're both in there, but I do apologize. I got my luchadors confused.
Wow, do all luchadors look the same to you? Because like
I don't know what any of them look like.
Yeah,
exactly. They all have masks. That's
Sheesh, man. So does Lee Moriarty, I think. But
Yeah, he wears the tiger mask to the ring, but he doesn't wrestle in it. It's actually
I've
cool.
never seen him wrestle, so I wouldn't know. I mean, that's not true. He wrestled Punk once on TV. If Punk beat Orange Cassidy, that'd be cool too. I'd be fine with that. Also, the only thing too is, I think the Cassidy loss is coming soon. I don't think it's happening until Collision. Because
that's
he was
what I
one
said
of the...
on Wednesday. I said the same thing on Wednesday. I think.
Okay, I definitely heard that. I had to have heard it because I heard what Rev said about losing it this upcoming Wednesday. So I definitely did hear that. But like I said, man, I was falling asleep watching you guys. Not that it was your guys' faults, but it's just a statement that happens to be true.
A ring endorsement from Danny Hernandez. Yeah, but yeah, I agree. I think like I said on the live, I don't think Orange is getting out of the week. Or out of next week with the title.
Yeah, it's very, very possible because the end is coming soon. I think it's definitely happening in June. It just might be on like the first or second episode of Collision or some shit, Like I said, now that I mentioned Punk, maybe Punk's first match is against Orange Cassidy, and he beats him in his attempt to turn heel in my and everyone else's eyes. which is hard. It's hard to boost someone who doesn't do anything wrong, but that's a good way to try to get some heat, But this match, I'm going to be super into it. It's not going to feel like filler, even though it technically is. It's literally Orange Cassidy being like, I'm so good. I need to be on the pay-per-view. Let me face all the jabronis who aren't good enough to be on the card. Sorry, not jabronis, pathetic losers who are never going to amount to anything in one match just to get them over. And are you happy now? Like, I feel I did that for you, just so you know. I would never use those words.
You did this.
Exactly.
I'm just not going to win this one. Let's go.
yeah. That's good. That's good. Moving on to another match. I am intrigued by. I don't know if this match will be good, but I am interested to find out. It is Christian Cage versus Wardlow in a ladder match, and I don't like one-on-one ladder matches. But Christian has a muscle. Wardlow has a muscle. Is that how we describe Arn for
He's
Wardlow?
Yeah, I was gonna say he's at least armed.
There's no DQs in this match, so in theory,
not armed. He's armed.
In theory,
2 minutes.
look, Rev, cut that out, please. I feel bad. Just I don't want
He's armed and dangerous.
Oh my God.
Yeah, just Rev, cut out. What are we up to on the
kick
recording?
him, but he's the host.
No, that's your guy. No, don't kick him from the thing. But like, we need to cut this from the episode. So what's the timestamp on this right now? What are we at?
About 51-ish minutes.
Yeah, it's like maybe cut from like 50 to 53, and then we'll jump right back in. Or just cut for this whole match. I'm gonna start from the top. So the next match, I don't know if it's gonna be good, but I'm interested to find out. It's gonna be Wardlow versus Christian Cage in a one-on-one ladder matches. Now, I don't like one-on-one ladder matches personally, but Christian has a heavy. Wardlow has a heavy. Is that how we describe Arn Anderson? As a heavy?
Slightly disrespectful, but
he's got a Glock at least. He's
he does have a Glock. I don't think there's DQs in a ladder match, so in theory, he could shoot his opponent. So that being said, James, who do you have in this match?
I really want to say Wardlow because I don't want this guy to lose again. But Christian would be so much better. It sucks, and I feel so bad. But Christian would be such a perfect choice for this. And Wardlow is just, I guess, being sacrificed once again. It's awful.
Hey, man. I feel like you said no lies. You got to give, some of these title matches, not all these title matches, they're going to have the baby faces win. So this is a good opportunity to do so, and send the crowd not home happy, but, give them something to remember fondly of like, oh, at least one of these baby faces won. So, I say give it a Christian. I think Wardlow's really going to shoot himself in the foot associated with Arn Anderson. So
he might literally get shot in the foot.
Yep.
Punishment for losing. Boom, he lost the toe.
Yeah, there you go.
Long sliced pinky toe.
Yep. Rev, this is a tough choice, honestly. So I don't know who you're going to go with. But if you could somehow make one more like gun joke or pun as you get there, that'd be really good for content, I think.
Yeah, well, I can just immediately start with one saying that, it's interesting seeing Christian gunning for a singles title in AEW. But
there you go. You got any more bullets in the chamber for this segment?
I probably got a few rounds left.
You can do this, but I can't make an orange joke. Get out of here.
I don't know what you're talking about. What are you referring to? I feel like there's no evidence of you making an orange joke here. What are you talking about?
Be censored.
All right, EC3,
what are you talking about? I don't understand. Look, James, can we have a sidebar real quick? Okay. Look, James, I know I wasn't here Wednesday, but I did rewatch the episode, and I saw the live chat, and I saw a lot of the flack you guys were getting, and I'm here for you guys. I wanted I wanted to sleep in tonight. You know, it was one of my friend's birthdays tonight, and he was having a barbecue, and I didn't go. And you know what? To be honest, I probably wasn't gonna go because I'm tired. And it's someone who I literally haven't seen in an exact calendar year. But you know, I came here for you guys. I could have been playing Knockout City. There's only like 10 days left before that server shuts down, and I could be playing that and falling asleep. But I'm here. I'm here for you guys because I wanted to help whip you guys back into podcasting shape. I don't know how you guys fell out of shape because you guys haven't been taking breaks, but like, you know, I'm doing this for you. So I would appreciate you to, you know, just bring the same energy that's expected of us because we have a somewhat dedicated following now, and the company show is expecting a certain level of energy and a certain quality of content, and I just feel like we need to really make sure that we're bringing that for the fans, and we don't want to phone things in. If I'm not doing a Raw reviews, because I don't want to phone it in, because I love our fans and I appreciate them, and I don't want them to feel slighted. So it would just help if we're all on the same page, you know, and we're squabbling and button heads over little things, you know. And I don't mean to come at you like locked and loaded, you know. I don't want, like, I'm not armed and dangerous or anything. Like I'm friendly and I'm neutral here, but like I really need you to pull it together and stop this segment from going into a nosedive. Can you do that for me?
Throwing some live rounds.
Rev, who do you have in this match?
I agree with James a lot, because if this feels like such a weird situation where Wardlow should not lose again, because if he does, I feel like that damages him so much. But Christian would have a way better run with this title right now, and I think he could do a lot of good things for it. So it's a really tough call. I've been burned in the past saying I think it's too early for X person to lose the TNT championship. And I think most of those people were Wardlow. But I got to stick with my guns here. I think it's too early for him to lose his championship. They're trying to do something with him and Arn. At least let him try to do it with the title. And maybe he can help, you know, build back some prestige to it, at least until he loses to Luchasaurus. But I'm gonna take Wardlow here for now. It's not a good pick. It's not a good pick, but I'm gonna go with Wardlow.
Look, I understand the logic's there. It could go either way. It's a real Sophia's choice, you know. But
I've learned to throw logic out the window when it comes to the TNT title. So
yeah, well, that's the real question: is do you want to save Wardlow or do you want to save the title? Because you can't do both. I don't think you can do both. Genuinely, I really like Wardlow. I want him to succeed. If he keeps holding on to the TNT title, I genuinely don't see him succeeding as much as if he just steps away from the TNT title scene. I want him to be a contender for MJF, not on pay-per-view, but on a TV special, despite being a champion constantly this whole year for weeks at a time. It doesn't feel like he could be one of those guys as long as he's in this weird mix of a title scene. And I just really want Christian to have it because he's fantastic. But yeah, if Christian loses and then Luchasaurus wins, you know, that's even better. But either way, I want Wardlow to lose the title and for the title to be in Christian's pair so he can cut promos on people every week. Granted, I don't know how deep the division is of wrestlers with dead parents, so I don't know how many legs this has, but I'm going to go with Christian because, again, I'm just picking what I want. I want Christian to win, so I'm going with Christian. We're going to quickly pivot. And we're going to talk about FTR versus the Jeff Jarrett experience for the AEW Tag Team Championships. This is like the third or fourth time that Jeff Jarrett and the Slapnuts have had a chance at the titles. But in a weird way, it's gotten better each time instead of worse. So
it's
I guess it's fine. Yeah. Jeff Jarrett makes no fucking sense. I've accepted the fact that I can't make heads or tails of it. I just got to enjoy the ride, and it's been an interesting ride. But now Karen Jarrett's here, so this is where it gets a little bumpy, and we're gonna see. And this match is gonna be an indicator of how much of a turn this could possibly take. But we got FTR. You know him. You used to love him. You're not sure how you feel about them anymore. You got the Jeff Jarrett experience. You didn't want him here. You couldn't understand why he was here. Now you can't get enough of him. He has single-handedly revitalized Jay Lethal's career. That sentence should have never, ever come out of my mouth. But here we are. Again, Jeff Jarrett makes no sense. It's an anomaly. I'm weirdly into this match. Like, I'm not excited for it, but I know it's going to be fun because they literally have not disappointed me yet. And Mark Briscoe's involved, and I really liked him walking up the ramp and just slapping and pushing everyone aside, and that was really, really fun. So this is really cool. I think FTR is on a downward turn, but they're still really over. Like, we're saying that, but they're not getting booed. They're still getting cheered. It's just like a few other people. They're not as high as they used to be. You know, they've cooled off a little bit, but cooled off is still like a poorly relative term because, you know, if something's scalding hot and now it's just hot, it's still hot, you know? But I think we all are going to say FTR, but it's at least a fun enough match to talk about. So, Rev, who do you have in this match, and who will Mark Briscoe hit?
I think he's going to hit everybody because that just makes a lot of sense. I'm going to take
including
FTR.
Karen.
Maybe she might get sideswiped. Maybe like Jeff falls into her Triple H and Stephanie style. I think I'm going to take FTR. There's one thing that popped into my head because there's two things. One, James had already said, which is why it popped in my head, so I'm going to leave it for him. But the other thing is, I think if Jarrett and Lethal win, Mark Briscoe turns heel. But I think it's way too soon to do that. So I'm hoping it doesn't happen. Like, it just kind of feels dirty right now for him to be heel. So
he's also a way better baby face than a heel, and that's like kind of objective. Even when they were a heel tag team, it was always Jay who was like leading the heel charge, and Mark was still like kind of beloved regardless. I don't know that people are going to boo him.
All right, yeah, and fair. Like, I don't know the Briscoes as well as you do, so I appreciate the history lesson. Yeah, but then again, I don't think that's going to happen. Like you said, he is too beloved, and he just has so much goodwill going towards him right now that I think that would be a dumb idea. So that's why I don't think it's going to happen. So I will take FTR in this match.
That is fair. And Rev, if we could have a quick sidebar real quick before I toss to James. James earmuffs. Look, man, we appreciate everything you're doing hosting the show. But again, I watched back Wednesday and I saw the live chat, man. And I know they were giving you guys a hard time. And like my solution, I don't really have a hard and fast solution, but I would recommend doing a couple more like silly voices and like stuff, because maybe, you know, people who don't know you, they might hear like you and me have a very like dull cadence and tone of voice. You know, we're very subdued people. We're not like perky and cheery and sound like we could be old men from up like James or like
be professional.
Something, you know. yeah, I know, but like that's I don't think anyone watches wrestling related stuff for the professionalism. So
more daddy magic is what you're telling me.
I know this. Not everyone knows this, but you're a master of voices. You do many accents and impressions. I know you're armed and fucking ready to go with way more things.
Okay, that feels like a goddamn taunt at this point.
We are having a sidebar, sir.
No, you're supposed to have your earmuffs on.
I'm sorry, earmuffs. I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. I'll have a sidebar with him about that at another time. Okay, that was super unprofessional. I'm sorry, Rev, that he interrupted us like that. But
It's okay.
yeah, I would just say maybe just abruptly unannounced, just burst into different accents and impressions from time to time. The really lure people in and be like, oh, who's this guy here? What's going on here?
Just do an entire segment in an Australian accent and just do it like that. Like, you think that would work?
Absolutely, mate. You need to go down under, you go down under. You need to go across the pond, you go across the pond. Put some flavor in. Maybe do this for yourself. This is going way above and beyond. But maybe make a little wheel, spin that wheel, and whatever lands on this accent, you go for. If you want to make it a little more random and chaotic, get a little more into it, But that all being said, James, who do you have in this match?
I really want it to be Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal.
Understandable.
I really want. I said it on Wednesday. I know I'm the boy who cried wolf when it comes to this, but I would really love a double turn. I would love the slap nuts to turn face and FTR turns heel.
Can I ask a question? How are you the boy who cried wolf on this?
Because he's called it like 8 times and it's not happened.
I called it for Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker. And that did happen, but weirdly, like, out of bounds did that happen. I've called it a few times where I'm like, oh, I think a double turn would be perfect here, and it just never happens. Not to say that it wouldn't have been perfect each and every time I said it, but it just didn't happen. So I don't think it's going to happen this time either, but boy, would it be swell.
Would you go to one of those, like, wolf experiences where you go to, like, a forest and you let the wolves, like, run and, like, roll all over you and stuff?
See, here's the thing. They're either going to hump me or pee on me. And why do I got to do that? Like, why would I put myself through that?
Ew.
Says a lot about your personality that you accepted the fact.
I know who I am. I know what this is.
Okay. All right. What about you, Rev? Would you do one of those wolf experiences?
I mean, I kind of like my face being on my face, so probably not. But I don't know. I get close enough where they won't kill me, but I'm not gonna go like pet one.
Okay. So you say you kind of like your face being on your face. So that means you're open to, like, talking about it. Like, it's, it's up. There's a conversation that can be had about it. So that's good to know. And I'll keep that in mind for if we ever hit like 2,000 subscribers or something. But I'm going to go with FTR just because they just won it. They just took it off the fucking Guns, who just took, the Guns were tag team champions this fucking year. That feels like a really bad lifetime ago already. But yeah, as much as I like the Jeff Jarrett experience, the Jarrett Appreciation Society or something, I don't think they're gonna win the tag titles. So, but we'll see. It should be fun. There should be a lot of shenanigans. I think Briscoe slaps Hager. I think he fucking lays out Ange and Magic. And I think Daniel Garcia trips over his own shoelaces or something. I don't know. So it'll be fun. But more importantly, we're going to move on to the main event. The undisputed main event of this show.
Apparently.
I'm just saying they say main event in the promos, and they're not WWE where they're going to fucking... A big part of the story was MJF telling Sammy, you get to main event a pay-per-view and make a shit ton of money for lying down for me. They're not WWE where they're going to be like, we have 3 main events on Night of Champions. That's not how main events work. No offense, because I'm looking forward to Night of Champions too. But, whatever match goes on last is the main event. And it should be the World Heavyweight title match, but it probably would be Roman Reigns and Solo versus Sammy and Kevin Owens. Anyway, that's for another prediction show. We'll talk about that on our Night of Champions predictions, I'm sure. But
that are already
MJF.
Out, so please go watch them.
Yeah, we definitely talked about them. We definitely talked about them. Maybe not on the show, but we definitely talked about it. MJF is defending the Triple B versus Samuel Guevara. What is Darby short for? Is that like I don't know what that could possibly be short for, you know?
Bartholomew.
Bartholomew, okay, I can see that. So we got MJF versus Samuel Guevara versus Bartholomew. That's hard to say without slowing down. Allin versus Jungle Boy.
Say the whole name. Jungle Boy John.
Jungle Boy Jackoff. Okay,
John.
gotcha.
Jack is short for John.
I still have no idea how that works, but apparently it does.
All right. Short for Edward. Explain that one to me.
I thought it was short for Tedward, but okay. That's news
I thought it was short
to
for
me.
Theodore.
Technically both.
Yeah, I know, but still weird.
Yeah, I feel like it's not. You know, I think Eddie is short for Edward. I know multiple Eddies. Yeah. I only know one Ed. I know two Eddies. So I know Ed, Eddie, and Ed D. But it's going to be a fatal four-way. It's going to be awesome. The four pillars. We've always wanted this. We didn't know it, but we've always wanted this. And I think this match is going to be great. This could be match of the night. It feels weird to say, but it's almost kind of rare for the main event to actually be match of the night. But it was last pay-per-view, so you know, it could very well be this pay-per-view. I think it's going to be fantastic. I think we're all in agreement on who's going to win. So we're going to also talk about who's going to get pinned. And you know what? I'm going to go first. Jungle Boy's getting pinned. That dude's a fucking loser, bro. This dude should not be in this match. We all thought Sammy was the one who felt like the oddball out in the beginning, but his 2-week run with MJF was some of the most entertaining shit the company's ever done. He's weirdly positioned himself as a babyface, but I think they just want everyone besides MJF to be babyface-ish for this match. So yeah, Jungle Boy is getting pinned by MJF because he's a loser. MJF's the winner. And I think we'll get a Darby MJF feud out of this. And I think they've abandoned the Jungle Boy aspect of it because, you know, he's not that guy. That's a reference. I don't know to what, but I know it's a reference.
You're not that guy, pal.
Yeah, I know that. I don't know what that's from, but yeah, I know
it's
it's a reference. You know, yeah, cool. May the force be with you. You know, never seen it, but I know what I'm referencing. Yeah, man, the Battlestar Galactica. You know, great stuff. Who wants to go first? I'm gonna leave it up for interpretation. Who wants to go first? Who's getting pinned? You obviously think MJF's gonna win, but which one of you two wants to go?
I'll go. Nick, is that okay?
Please, by all means.
I too think Jungle Jack is taking the pin, but I think that's because he's the one who will benefit the most from being pinned, because it could set him off on a story, as opposed to if Darby takes the pin or if Sammy takes the pin. It's just they got pinned, now what? I think Jungle Boy, we are inching closer and closer to a Jungle Boy heel turn, and I think getting pinned is the way we get there, or at the very least what kickstarts it. And I think a Jungle Boy versus Darby Allin feud, where Jungle Jack is the heel, has a lot you could do.
I should have won first.
No. You know, I was going to ask you if you were really okay with that, because I didn't fully believe you when you said go ahead, Tim. So maybe I should have interrupted and asked. I'm sorry, Rev. I should have interrupted James immediately and just made sure that you were.
It's okay.
It's really okay with that.
That would be so weird.
No,
I don't know.
Yeah, for me too. Yeah, but that's okay. We almost made it through the whole show without it, so it's fine. Just quick, James, quick sidebar. Maybe don't point out production issues during the middle of the show. You know, we don't want people to hear about that stuff. You know, we want to sell them the sausage. We don't want them to know how it's made, because then they wouldn't want the sausage. You know, it's kind of gross. And Rev, if you could cut this part out too, just so you know. Again, we don't want to have show notes, you know, live on air, you know, so
yeah,
maybe make a little timestamp of that, or at least like bleep it out or something, you know.
Hour 14, I got it, don't worry.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. I mean, after you cut all these parts out, we should be down to like 4 hours. So, yeah, that'd be pretty good. But this is an AEW pay-per-view, so it's probably going to be 5 hours. So, we're almost got them there. But that being said, who do you have in this match? Why do you think Jungle Boy is taking the pin? And I guess you also think he's turning heel soon.
Yeah, and I mean, James and I did discuss this on Wednesday during the live, so I'm not surprised he had similar thoughts because we literally planned this out where I think, yeah, Jungle Boy getting pinned by MJF makes a lot of sense because he does kind of need a heel turn. I feel, him failing to get a singles title on his own and doing things the right way should probably lead to him getting a heel turn. Now, you don't have to have him get pins for it to happen. And shit, there's a chance it even happens during the match on Saturday. I think there's a chance he just turns heel during the match. He's been a bit of a dick, especially to Darby. Like I know they were cool enough to win that match and get themselves into the championship match, but it's been kind of a dick to Darby. So it wouldn't completely surprise me if he turned heel in this match, but I do agree with James. I do think it'll happen later. I think just my only solid prediction is Darby's not getting pinned. I think it'll be Jack or Sammy. I don't think it's going to be Darby because he's been too hot right now, to be honest.
It's funny that MJF planted the seeds for Jungle Boy to turn heel, but I'm way more invested in Darby and Sammy's like mutual respect for each other than anything Jungle Boy's doing, which is like that's me putting aside the joke of making fun of Jungle Boy. Like I'm just genuinely like I was like, oh, I really like that Darby and Sammy after doing crazy ass shit in matches together have that mutual respect. So I am a fan.
And they've known
their
each
interactions, and I just think there's going to be so many cool moments.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure they have.
Yeah, they've known each other for a long time.
I think there's just going to be so many cool moments in this match. So many cool like variations of these four. Like, we're going to get that Darby Allin Jungle Boy interaction to pay off the tension. We're going to get that Sammy Darby interaction where they're like respectfully going to go at each other. And we're going to get the MJF Darby interaction where they try to headlock take over each other a bunch. And MJF's definitely going to offer Sammy like a giant hug, and then Sammy's going to take it. They're going to kiss, and then Sammy's going to like roll him up or hit like a German suplex or something. Like, there's so many good moments that are going to happen in this match, and it's going to be so fun. We're all going to MJF. We all think Jungle Boy is getting pinned, and obviously, if it's not Jungle Boy, it's Sammy. Like, we're all exactly on the same page about that aspect of it. You're right, Rev. We got to leave that room for the Jungle Boy heel turn to happen during the match. That is a very, very realistic possibility.
Watch Sammy and Darby. Okay, Jen, I'm sorry.
No, you go. I went first last time.
I was gonna say I've watched Sammy and Darby accidentally take themselves out by just trying to one up each other doing crazy shit. And that's how we just kind of end up in a one-on-one with MJF and Jungle Boy, and then MJF cheats to win, obviously, and there you go.
There's an Anarchy in the Arena match and an Unsanctioned match, but yet the craziest shit happens in this match. So, yeah, I can see it happening. That's cool. Or just, all right, I'll put this dynamics this way, right? Darby rides a skateboard down to the ring. Cool. Awesome. Love that. I'm a skater boy. If MJF tried to ride Darby's skateboard, it would be comically bad. And like MJF would be so good at hamming that up. If Sammy would do it, he might be able to ride it, and then he would jump off of it like a madman. It'd be pretty cool. If Jungle Boy did it, there's no version of it where he doesn't look like a dork. And those are the characters we're dealing with. But to wrap things up, we're going to do our segment that we end all of our predictions with. And that's who's going to be the biggest winner and the biggest loser of the pay-per-view. So out of all the people on the show, who's going to win the most coming out of this, whether it's by actually winning or just looking amazing, and who's going to look the worst coming out of this? I'm going to let James go first because every time we do this segment, you're always itching to go, and you always give pretty eloquent answers. So, who's going to be? What do you want to start with? Do you want to do biggest winner or biggest loser first?
Biggest loser.
Okay, who do you think is the biggest loser is going to be coming out of this pay-per-view?
I think the biggest loser overall is going to be Jungle Boy.
Okay, because you think he's getting pinned, and you think he's not going to look that good, or?
I think we all know he can go in the ring. I think we know that, but the support's not going to be there for him the same way it's going to be there for Darby and for Sammy. And I think that's what's going to really set him going forward.
Okay, I could see that. I'm gonna, like I said, let's all do our biggest losers first, and then we'll end positively with the biggest winners. I think the biggest loser is going to be Wardlow, because he's in a lose-lose situation. He could win the match, and it's not good. Whereas his best bet is losing. So like, no matter what, he's not coming. Like, he's still losing either way, but one sets him up better for the long term. So I'm going to say Wardlow is going to be the biggest loser of the pay-per-view. Rev, who do you think is going to be the biggest loser of the pay-per-view?
I unfortunately think it's going to be one of the women. I think if they mishandle, well, here's the thing. I think if they mishandle the Jamie Hayter, Toni Storm thing, they could come out looking pretty bad from that. I'm really hoping that's not the case.
Okay, Rev, I'm so sorry. Please hold on to your thought, but it's AEW. You really think they're going to mishandle the women's matches? Are you serious?
Probably not.
You can't mishandle something that they only give 5 minutes to. You can't be bad in 5 minutes. You just can't be good.
Yeah.
Challenge accepted.
All right, but anyway, continue your thought.
If they handle that well, I unfortunately kind of what you said with Wardlow, I think it's Jade. I think she's kind of in a lose-lose spot too, because either she wins and this title reign that we unfortunately don't really have any reason to care about anymore continues, or she loses and it kind of ends, I don't want to say unceremoniously, but I don't think anybody's expecting Taya Valkyrie to win this match, and it would be a very odd choice. So I think that probably for me could, now granted, she could come out and have a banger match and I could be proven very, very wrong here. But I feel like they constantly set Jade up to fail, which is odd saying that considering she's 50 whatever and 0. But I think she's just in a tough spot here.
I think that's a really good point and a good pick. I'm just a little surprised that it wasn't James who said that, because he hates women. So, sure. That's the only reason I'm a little caught off guard by that. But honestly, I think you might be right. That's a fair point. I think we all put out good options out there for the biggest losers, which is, I mean, we're usually pretty good with that. We're usually on the mark. But starting with the biggest winners, who wants to go first?
I'll go.
Yeah, James.
I'm going to say the BCC. I think they're going to get a much needed win.
Ooh.
Because I think the group as a whole hasn't done much. And a lot of the individual members have needed wins too. Like Brian has needed a win. Moxley has weirdly needed a win. It's not like he's in rough shape, but he needs a big win to sort of revitalize what he's doing. And Wheeler, this will probably be the biggest win of Wheeler's career. And Claudio will look, I think Claudio is going to look like a superstar in this match. I think he's going to really get to run wild and do some wild stuff in this match, particularly with the Bucks.
I mean, Claudio has the best run wild in all of wrestling, so
it's true.
I think honestly, I wanted to poke and prod at you a little bit about your answer, but that's a really, really good answer. So I'm just I'm not gonna make fun of you for that one. I think it's really on the money. I'd hate to follow that, right, Raph?
Well, considering that was my first choice, yeah, I would. But I agree with James. I do agree with James. I think the BCC is going to come out looking really good here. But just to make another choice, I think all 6 men in the AEW World Trios match are going to come out looking great here. Like I said at the start of the show, sorry, Danny. Like I said at the start of the show, though, I think this is a match that could steal the show. And I think, even though the Acclaimed are unfortunately probably going to lose, I think they're going to come out of this looking like $1 million. I think the House of Black is going to look like $1 million because all of these guys can go. So I think they're all going to come out looking great here, and there'll be a standing ovation for them by the end of their match.
Oh yeah, I could see like a double down. What is the 6-person version of a double down? Is that a?
You mean like the KFC the KFC sandwich where the bread is chicken? That's a double down, isn't it?
I mean the wrestling spot where like the two wrestlers, like do a crossbody into each other and the bolt down, and the crowd usually gives like a mini standing ovation or "This is awesome" chant. What's the 6-person version of that? Is a hecta down or something?
Yeah.
So I think I could see a version of this where the all 6 men are down and the crowd just gives them a standing ovation, especially if this opens the show and they get that like white hot opening crowd. Like I think they definitely get that standing ovation.
I was about to say, I think this should open the show because everyone's super over. It's 4 titles. Like I think everyone will be white hot for this match. It probably should open the show. I don't know how you could have a more hype start to the show.
Yeah, because you're not going to open with Anarchy, and then literally the only other option is honestly the Battle Royal, but that's like a good middle of the show match. So
yeah, I wouldn't open with that.
And then you get to open the show with House of Black's entrance,
and then Max
Caster rap.
Yeah.
So that sounds like a win on all levels. So yeah, that's a great shout. Great answer. I mean, like I said, we always nail this. So I'm still always surprised that we do so well with this. But I'm gonna say the biggest winner is gonna be Darby Allin because he gets the main event the show. He's gonna come out of that fatal 4-way looking like $1 million, looking like a credible contender, looking like a guy that we'd want to see end MJF's title reign down the line, and looking like he could be that guy, like as we get closer to the end of the year, as 2024 draws near. Darby, one of those guys that we think like, hey, maybe he is the guy to do it. Maybe now that MJF has beaten Hangman and beaten Bryan and beaten Kenny and beaten the other pillars, beaten Ricky, beaten Eddie Kingston, beaten Adam Cole, beaten CM Punk, maybe after all he's beaten all those guys, maybe Darby is that guy to do that. So I think him getting to main event pay-per-view, that's just gonna elevate his already high stock, and just like AEW is a place where you can still get over in defeat and that can still raise your stock. And I think this match will be the prime example of that. And I think the same will apply to Sammy. And obviously it's not going to apply to Jungle Boy. That dude's a lost cause. But like I think Sammy will be elevated too, but like not as high as Darby. Whereas I think Darby will solidify himself as a guy who is a main eventer whenever he wants to be or whenever the situation calls for it. Whereas Sammy will be that guy, the upper mid-card guy just below that you can do for like a TV match or something. But like, I don't think this is the last time Darby Allin will main event a pay-per-view. I think this match will elevate him to the point where he can main event future pay-per-views. So I think that'll make him the biggest winner coming out of that, especially if he gets that hope spot where he had the match visually won, but then shenanigans happened. So my pick is Darby Allin. I think we all nailed that. I don't want to like be too self-congratulatory, but like, we did great. And do you guys, for like 2 minutes before we go, do you guys want to like speculate who's Chad's biggest winners and losers would be from the pay-per-view? Like, how well do you guys think Chad? Do you think we know whose biggest winners and losers are?
He's gonna say the biggest winner is Beth Phoenix because there's an entire match that revolves around her finishing move.
Good answer, Chad. Good shit. I'm gonna text him. Good job.
He's gonna be so confused. He'll be like, "What?"
What about? All right, James. Who do you think Chad thinks the biggest loser of the show will be?
He's gonna say the Elite.
Okay. How come?
Because he hates the Elite.
Does he?
He really does. Either he does it mockingly, but he is very anti-elite. He might like Kenny, but elite as a whole, he does not like.
I'm sorry if I made antagonizing you look cool and fun. My bad. But all right, we'll find out about that. But everyone, thank you so much for watching. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Rev, cut this out. I'm gonna take a sip of water. Cut that out.
Yeah, I will. Don't worry.
Thank you.
A lot of editing for me tonight.
I mean, you're getting a new computer, so you might as well kill this one on the way out.
Oh, it's dead. Don't worry.
But thank you guys so much for watching. We will review these shows probably. Check it out then. Check out our predictions for Night of Champions happening like hours after this video comes out. Enjoy the shows. Hit us up on social media. Let us know what you think. We got it all. We got TikTok. We got Facebook. We don't use it that much, but we got it. We got Instagram. We use that one pretty often. We got Twitter. We use that one pretty often. We're on Parler. We're on all the social media platforms. We are out there. We're getting our opinions heard, our truth heard. And yeah, please subscribe. It's way too late in the game to ask for that, but here we are. Check out all of our other videos. Check out our Dynamite reviews. Check out our Raw reviews. Check out our Impact reviews. Yeah, Trinity is in Impact, don't you know? Check it out. But thank you so much for watching. We love you guys. Not equally, various amounts, but there's some semblance of love for anyone watching this video. So thank you so much. Have a good night. Stay safe. Don't drink and drive. Be nice to animals. Love you, but I gotta go to bed. So please get out of my video, please.